Day 55, I'm so glad tomorrow's Saturday and then I get to go back to Butte. I didn't go home last weekend, and so I'm really feeling it now. Our kind of breakfasts together this week have consisted of a lot of budget talk. Someone from the Appropriations Committee has been able to share every day a different portion of the budget. It's sectioned like Section A, Section B, and so on. And we'll each be getting a binder that goes in specific detail what is being proposed in the budget. And the House floor sessions Monday and Tuesday will only cover one item, and it'll just be the budget. We won't be having any committee hearings. So everyone's kind of in budget mode right now, and everyone who's been here before says that it is about to get really not fun. So I just tried to relax and enjoy the last few non-controversial bills that we had on the House floor today. In Business and Labor this morning, we heard two bills that were not non-controversial. We heard two unemployment bills and a bill for the Board of Public Accountants. I had talked earlier about a bill for the realtors. They want to be their own separate department of government. They want to have their own money and not be tied at all to the general fund. They want to have their own oversight for hiring and firing. They want to be immune from lawsuits. Well, basically the same exact bill came forward today for the public accountants. And so since it was the same bill in another department, I thought that maybe it was just really common for every department to want to have total autonomy, and maybe every session these boards bring these same exact bills. But when I asked around, people who have been here said they've never seen this kind of push before for so much autonomy from all of these different boards. And that's kind of an interesting philosophical question: who should have oversight over the boards and how autonomous they should be, whether or not they should be exempt from the state pay plan when they hire and fire, and immune from lawsuits, and since they can generate their own fees, whether they should have total autonomy over the money that goes through their business sector. We also heard a bill on prescribing Schedule 2 and 3 drugs to workers' comp recipients. The bill originally had said that a treating physician had to check the prescription drug registry to make sure that this person wasn't just looking for drugs. It got changed so that now a doctor may check the prescription drug registry, which seems kind of silly because there's no doctor that can't check it. So by amending the law, it seems like they kind of made it pointless. We heard Senate Bill 127, and once again, Labor was there to say this is ridiculous. And another bill that started out as a good bill, just Labor, the workers and the employers got together and tried to more closely define what everyone agrees is misconduct. And then it was re-referred to another Senate committee, and a whole bunch of new language was listed as misconduct and reasons that people can be fired. And they're things like not supporting the mission of the employer, or doing things that are not in the employer's best interest. Really, really vague wording, and I guarantee you that's going to pass. On the floor today, we heard bills that had to do with public employees' retirement, land access tax credit, farm-to-school grants, creating a suicide review team, vehicle registration, subdivisions, and tow trucks. So again, just really hearing a wide range of topics. The land access tax credit bill came back from appropriations, and I hadn't talked to you about that yet. I talked to you about it when it was on the House floor. That was a really good bipartisan bill that gives landowners a tax credit for allowing public the access to their land just to go across it so they can access public land. It unlocks a ton of public land, but because it costs money in the form of tax credits, it had to go, after we passed it on second and third reading, it had to go back to the Appropriations Committee. They voted and said, yes, we approve this much, basically revenue loss. It'll be taxes that the state is not taking in from these landowners. And then it came back to the House and we voted on it one more time. So just an interesting process. And the farm to school grants would provide grants for schools to cover the cost of buying locally grown, made in Montana food. A really good bill that had really funny testimony, but is easy to get behind. The creation of a Montana suicide review team. Montana has a huge suicide problem. We have a huge teen suicide problem. And so this bill says that as part of the governor's departments, he will have a suicide review team, and that they will basically do a study to find out how we can decrease our suicide rates in the state. And this is a really sensitive topic for a lot of people. And there was one member of the House who has been absent due to a recent tragedy in his family. And so today we did something we've never done before. We approved this bill on second reading, and instead of waiting for it to come up on third reading at a later date, we suspended the rules. We moved this one bill to third reading today. They handed out the sheet that they have to hand out with the schedule on it, and we sat back in our chairs and just did this one bill on a third reading today, just so that we make sure that this bill is through before this member of the House returns. And so I thought that was a nice thing for the speaker and the leadership to plan on. The vehicle registration bill, I think you guys would be interested in. If you buy a car or any kind of a vehicle from somebody else, you have to go and immediately buy new tags for it. And this bill says, no, your tags are good for 1 year. And so you would go and buy tags when that license was expired. And that actually costs the state some money. But I voted for it. Tomorrow's Saturday. See you tomorrow.